This is Nickey, your Adventure Radio Works world host. And today I've got an interesting story to share with you, and it's got everything to do with adventure, and I will be covering victories and experiences. Over to you, Marina.
Wow, Nickey, welcome our listeners. You are in for a treat. What is life without adventure? I can't imagine life without you, Nickey. I can't wait for your show. Each week you are coming and sharing and you inspire us, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm getting younger. So, to our listeners, wherever you are in the world, now is the time to change the fear, to trade the fear for love. Love of adventure is what is going to unlock who you truly are. Over to you, Nickey.
Thank you so much, Marina, and thank you once again for the opportunity to share my wonderful story. And I do think that a lot of our listeners would be able to relate today, but probably on different levels, which is, I hope I put it across. Okay, so as you remember last week, I told you about my Adult Adventure Club, and it's all got to do with our acronyms. And today I really want to speak about an interesting experience that I had in 2005, which then turned into a victory of kindness. So in 2005, I had a very dear friend that was diving with me at the time. It was normal scuba diving, so a bit off the Navy topic today. But he came with me with an idea where he asked me that if we could together as a couple do a 25-hour non-stop dive for a world record. I thought about it and I said to him, wow, that sounds a lot of, it sounds too long underwater. And the worst thing was that it was going to be in a tank, which was 3 meters by 4 meters. So 3 meters wide by 4 meters high. So you had to stay submerged in this tank for 25 hours. So you're not allowed to break the surface. I thought about it, and a couple of days later, I phoned him up and I said to him, listen, Gert, I love the idea of the world record, but it needs to have more meaning to me. I can't just sit underwater for 25 hours just for a world record. That to me makes no sense. So I came up with an idea where I was going to actually raise funds for my niece. Her name's Amie. She was born in June 2000 in Scotland with autism. So she was 5 at the time when we decided to raise funds for her. And my sister Natasha was baking and doing all kinds of things to raise funds on her side in Scotland, actually to take Amie to the US on a program called the Sunrise Program. And this program has actually had amazing results with children with autism, where they are absolutely locked in their own world. And once they've gone through this program, not all the children, few of the children have to go more than once, you can actually bring the child out of autism and say they're normal, as we would call it, in brackets. And my sister was short of 3,000 pounds. So I said to her, okay, great, I'll only do it if we're allowed to raise funds for my niece in Scotland. Otherwise, I'm not interested, because it just had to have more meaning than just sitting in a tank for 25 hours for a world record. So there was lots of planning to do. And we had to get the right team. We had to sell the idea to a scuba place, right equipment, the venue. So lots of planning to do, and lots of mental strength had to go into this, because, I mean, if you're sitting in a tank that's only 3 meters wide, first thing that jumps out at me is boredom. What am I going to do for 25 hours underwater and I can't talk, because it's normal scuba gear. But anyway, a long story short, we then managed to get everything together. I got my family and my friends involved. I had a wonderful backup team, and all my backup people, apart from my sister and her husband, were all divers. So I felt very comfortable. And then Scuba City, who supported us in this whole venture to raise awareness about autism in children, was on board. And we actually then did this dive in 2005, the 18th of June 2005. It was at Kyalami, the racetrack, where they had an outdoor expo. So we knew we'd have a lot of feet through the expo on the weekend. I was scared, constantly questioning myself, why am I doing this? but with the support of the right people in the background, it made an absolute huge difference. So we entered the water the 18th of June at 11 a.m. And it was great being in the water, and there was lots of excitement going on. And there was a window in the tank so you could interact with the public. So they would write something on a blackboard and then show it to us. And we had a board underwater which you could write on and reply. So that was the interaction. And then just every 3 hours or so, we had to change our cylinders, our gear. So the gear would be dropped down from topside, and then you'll do your change underwater without breaking the surface. So topside would make sure that you wouldn't break the surface, and change your gear around and send the gear that was empty, send it up. And it was wonderful. We managed to be able to drink underwater, so that's something we practiced, and also to eat energy bars underwater, which was quite interesting because I think I swallowed more water than the actual bar. But yeah, because of my naval training, I think I handled it very well, because once you've been through the Navy diving training, there's nothing in life that you cannot handle, no matter how hard it is. So long story short, we entered the water 18th of June, 11 a.m. My partner Gert, due to a flooded dry suit, had to climb out that evening or that following morning at 12:35. So he was only in the water for 12 hours, and that then left me by myself for the next 12 hours or 13 hours, which was in actual fact quite frightening, because now you're alone in the tank, there's no interaction, all the people are sleeping, and you've just got one standby diver rotating on the outside on shifts to make sure that you're okay and everything is going well and keeping an eye on you. And I remember at about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was chatting to my standby diver on the outside. His name was Gary. And I said to him, why am I doing this? This is crazy. Who does things like this? And all I was thinking about was the 5 hours. I actually forgot why I was doing it. So after having this mental battle with myself and having self-doubt, Gary disappeared, and I thought, where did he go now? And I was left by myself again. But he came back with a photo of Amie that we had on the tank, and he just turned that photo around and he put it on the glass and he left it there. Because I'm sure he realized that I'd forgotten why I initially got in the tank. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about the world record. It was about Amie and giving an opportunity to a 5-year-old to help unlock the autism. And that was far more important. So I took one look at the photograph, and it was as if Amie's eyes was following me all over the tank. No matter whether I moved left or right, a little bit up, a little bit down, it was as if those eyes were just following me. And that just really empowered me again to remember why I was doing it. So yes, in life we go and we do a lot of things for ourselves, but you need to look at the bigger picture. It's all about kindness. It's all about persistence and consistency. And it's not about ourselves. It's about the next person that you can actually push forward and excel and help them excel. Because if you can help people at the end of the day, it's got more meaning than what's really going on in your life at the moment. So whenever you're going to set yourself a goal, yes, it can be a personal goal, but also always try and do it for the better good and for mankind as well. And I'm going to say this again, if we can help one person on a daily basis, no matter how small the act of kindness is, you've got the feeling of helping someone and just seeing the smile on their face speaks a million words. They don't even have to say thank you. So yeah, so it was an interesting experience, early hours of the morning, having the self-doubt and having this mental struggle with myself. But with the help and support of my backup team, which I can never thank them enough for helping me get through this, I climbed out of the water at 12 p.m. the next day, where we then had set the world record. But what was most important to me was the first question I asked was, how much funds did we raise for Amie's Sunrise program? And within 25 hours, we managed to raise 30,000 Rand, which at the time in 2005 was equivalent to 3,000 pounds. And I was absolutely flabbergasted. I never thought that we'd be able to get the money together, or the remainder of the money that my sister needed, to go to America with Amie and actually experience the Sunrise program. the feeling, everybody was cheering, everybody was happy, but I just stood there and all I could think about was my sister and my niece, and then of course my support team. And that feeling of, wow, I've done it, and I've done it for somebody else. And this is what actually, this experience that I had with this inner battle, is it for me, is it for somebody else, was just the best experience I had. And the victory that came out of it was the fact that I could help a 5-year-old girl who's got autism, give her the opportunity to hopefully live a better life. Over to you, Marina.
Nickey, you are a victory of humankind. From both of us, until next time, is goodbye.
Goodbye, Marina.